Hey guys, Dave here, RNRV Chronicles. Hey, we got ourselves a situation that I need to take care of. Quite a few years ago, I'm going to say probably 5 or 6 years ago, we had an issue with the Dometic fans, and this was the first one that went out. What happened is, you can see I have this here tied down. We had a really bad windstorm here the other day, and I heard this slopping and flopping all around and everything. And one of the things I noticed earlier, probably for the past month and a half or so, 2 months, we have not been able to, this has the remote, and it would come down, but it would just keep spinning and popping and cracking. And what happened is, inside this is a gear that lifts. This is what the motor attaches to. And I'll show you about where that is located. It's right up in there, but it sits up top up there, and it connects to this rod right here. Oops, I'll show you. Connects to this rod here that opens and closes the fan. Stripped out. So I had to buy a new one. Now, obviously we had a choice that we could have purchased a new fan with the remote. And let me pull that up and I'll show you the cost differences. Okay, so here we go. And I was going to go with the black top this time to kind of help hide some of that dirt. You can see the cost, $350. Sorry for the pulsing. But that's $350 versus $33. So these things can be repaired. The only thing you cannot replace on these is the plastic fan body itself. And I'll show you. Everything else that I've seen you can replace. That's this piece here with the cross. You can replace the motor. You can replace the hinges, which I actually have the hinges coming today just in case it's stripped out too. You can replace the top. You can replace the sides here. You can replace everything pretty much with all of these things. The control board and everything. So those pretty much everything can be replaced. There is that piece there. Like I said, $33. And you can also get and replace the arm, and I had this coming, or I have it coming as well, in order to just in case it's stripped out back here, because right here is where it connects to the motor. In other words, this piece here will fit right there onto that, inside that hole there. So in case this rounded out, I'm not sure exactly what rounded out, if it's this piece inside here, or if it's actually the gear inside here, or if it's this piece here. I don't know. But once we get up there, we're going to find out. So, yeah. I didn't want to tear it apart and then have a great big hole in the roof. So, we got the parts coming in. Let's go ahead and get this thing repaired. Alrighty. I hope y'all can hear me pretty good. There's going to be 4 screws here. This thing is loose. So we're just going to go ahead and pick it up. And right here, if you can see these screws right here, I'm just going to take these 4 screws out that tie it down to the bracket that is attached to the motorhome. And you'll see here in a second, these here are some screws. They just come out right in here. There's going to be 2 on the other side as well. You just want to go ahead and grab the unit and just pull up. Now I already have the bottom fan removed, as you guys can see here. Already have the bottom fan removed, PCB board removed. Okay, so the next thing you want to do in order to open this up, and here's the trick that I found, is there's two screws right here that this is a hinge to, and once you remove these two screws, this will all separate, and I'll be able to get inside here and get this thing cleaned up. And then this all just opens up. So there we go. Oh, and there is the problem. Here's what broke. This is what went bad. You can see what happened here. This piece here, it actually just, it blew the whole side out. So turn it around here, I'll show you. It literally just blew the whole side out right here. It's like completely gone. Wow, that's pretty bad. All right, let's go ahead and get that repaired. Okay guys, what I did is I went ahead and cleaned this up. I don't want it, I mean, it's not perfect, especially inside here because this is facing upward, so I'm not really going to see a whole lot of that, but it's pretty good clean there. I'm going to go ahead and put things back together. Now what I did do, just for your information, is I did take out the bracket, the motor. It's just these two screws. There's two nuts underneath. It pulls it up. Make sure the motor does not come apart because it is separated. These screws do hold the motor together. Okay, and then I just cleaned everything up, washed it up with hot water and Dawn, and then hosed it down. So that just cleans it up. I'm putting this back in. When you put this back in, make sure that these here tabs are facing upward, so that you have enough room for it to go up and down. Okay, so putting everything back together here now, and we're going to go ahead and put this piece back in. And I showed you up on the roof here earlier. This is what happened. This thing just completely blew apart. And this piece, it goes in here. It's on a worm gear. It turns this thing, and it was starting to strip down here in this area, and I knew it. It already blew apart. But when the bad windstorm came through, it really just lifted it up and took it away. But anyways, here is the new piece. I got the spring on, and we're going to go ahead and mount this up in here. Now this, again, goes inside here. So we're going to put it, the hook, I don't know, can you see? Put the hook around and put it in through this piece here, like such. And put that down through. And right here is where your screws are going to go down through. Two bushings, don't want to forget to keep those on there. And these two screws here are the ones that hold that down. Want to over tighten those because it's just going into plastic, so be mindful of that. Want them snug but not over tightening. There. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and get these back on here. Okay guys, so what I'm doing here is on this bracket, these brackets right here, I don't know if they can see that here, Katie. I don't know if they can see that or not. I'll take it off here real quick. Or not the front, I'll show you the back. Here, let me. So you have an L-shaped bracket. Okay, this goes towards the outside. And then this part goes in towards the back, or towards the hinge part here, towards the motor. And you want to put it in. Now, I will tell you this, I did not have to take this off. I'll show you here in a second. All you have to do is just push these here bars over and pop them out of here. Do not put too much to where you spring it. If you do, you're going to have to bend them back inward, but just enough till they pop out of the slots here. So you do not have to take these 6 screws out. You just need to pull these out of the slots right in here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put these screws in real quick. Again, just snug them up. All right. Now I'm going to show you here what I meant by just plopping them in there. And here's what you want to do. Put this on this side. I don't know if you can see that or not. Put this on the outside. And just pop them back in. And there you are. Alrighty. Next, going to go ahead and put the motor back in. That opens and closes it, and that's this right here. This here motor has 3 screws. You also have this little adapter piece that goes in between the two. So that goes here, and over top of the piece you just put in. So then you got your 3 screws. You got 1 up front and 2 on the sides here. And I'll be back as soon as I get that screwed in. Okay, so now that we have the motor screwed in tight here, we got the fan motor on tight, we have everything pretty much back together here. All I got to do now is go ahead and bring this down enough where I can put this hinge back on. Because I got it up in here quite a bit, so this has to go on till that attaches. So now what I need to do in order to make this work is put my handle onto the motor, which is right here, and go ahead and hand crank it down. Until that comes to that area. So now we're going to go ahead and screw those screws in right there. Again, be careful. Don't want to over tighten. Sorry about the breeze, and I hope there's not a whole lot of wind noise to the video. If there is, I apologize. This thing is ready to be mounted back up, and you want to leave it open, because if you close it, you're not going to be able to get in here when you take it back on the roof and put your mounting screws back on when it goes back down. So. So there you go. Once that opens up the whole way, that play will go away. So let's go downstairs and finish this up. So here we go, the final product. Just put it back down, put the wires back in, put my shield back up, put the fan back on, put the screen back on, and here's the remote. So let's cross our fingers. And there we go. Alright guys, that's how you tear one of these here MaxxAir fans apart. Be able to buy parts to repair them instead of spending the full $350 to replace the whole thing. So there you go. I hope you like what I had to do here, and like, subscribe, and share. Bye for now.